This is One Sentence News, a daily podcast featuring 3 news stories with a sentence-long summary and 1 sentence of context apiece. I'm Colin Wright. It's Friday, February 18th, 2022. Let's talk about the news. From the Associated Press, U.S. could see a century's worth of sea rise in just 30 years. A new report by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, says that by 2050, ocean levels along the U.S. coast will be about 10 to 20 inches higher, which is about 25 to 30 centimeters higher than they are today, an increase similar to what we've seen over the past century. This coastal water rise is expected to be distributed unevenly, with global coastlines suffering its effects, seeing more consistent floods, worsened disasters like hurricanes and storms, and the total loss of some unprotected coastal land. But variations in these coastlines will lead to different outcomes, with Galveston, Texas, expected to see almost 25 inches, which is about 63.5 centimeters, in rise, while Seattle will probably only see something like an additional 9 inches, which is about 23 centimeters. From Reuters, first woman reported cured of HIV after stem cell transplant. An American leukemia patient has become the 3rd person and first woman to be cured of HIV after receiving transplanted stem cells from a donor who is naturally resistant to HIV. The stem cells she received came from umbilical cord blood, another first, and she received the transplant to treat her leukemia, but she's been in remission from the HIV she also had for 14 months now, and hasn't since needed to receive antiretroviral HIV treatment therapy. This is part of a larger study following people with HIV who receive stem cell treatments to see if some element of these treatments might be utilized as an HIV therapy or cure in the future. And from Bloomberg, Intel to buy Israel's Tower Semiconductor for $5.4 billion. American semiconductor company Intel has agreed to buy Israeli company Tower Semiconductor for $53 per share in cash, which represents a 60% premium on Tower's closing price at the time. This is part of a larger series of moves by Intel to regain relevancy in the microchip space by revamping its offerings and expanding to provide foundry services like those offered by their main competitor and the biggest company in this space right now, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Co., or TSMC, which pulls in more than half the industry's revenue. To be a chip foundry means you fabricate chips for other companies rather than just making your own branded chips, and the goal seems to be rapid expansion at a moment in which regulators will be less likely to say no because of the ongoing global chip shortage and the heightened awareness amongst politicians and other influential people of how geopolitically vital these components can be. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com. And you can support this and other related projects, like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts, at understandery.com.